Back in that bag again. Whoa, yeah. Hey. Back in that. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Splash City Basketball Podcast, where we talk basketball from the high school level all the way up to the pros, with a twist from the land of 10,000 lakes here in Minnesota. I'm your host, Steve Hartman. Really excited about today's episode. We went on location again, this time to Back Channel Brewing in Spring Park, Minnesota, not too far from my house. And I met a good friend of mine who got to know a couple years ago, coaching third grade basketball together, Ben Brickson, former North Dakota standout. He was part of the 1995 North Central Conference UND fighting Sioux at the time, now fighting Hawks championship team. And just had a lot of great insights, great stories, talking about the old days, the NCC, talking about basketball today, and the transition for North Dakota into Division I and what that's meant to the school, to the alumni. And then we finished talking a little bit about the Fighting Hawks' chances in the Summit League this year. They actually tonight, the reason I brought Ben on tonight specifically was because UND was playing at Creighton, and Creighton, coached by Greg McDermott, who was an assistant coach at UND when Ben was there. So a little connection with Rich Glas as well, so we'll talk about that. But thanks for listening. We're excited to bring this show to you live today. So with that, let's get into it. All right, we are at Back Channel Brewing in Spring Park, Minnesota. A great location. I'm super excited to have Ben Brickson with me. Ben, former UND basketball player back in the old NCC days. Tonight, North Dakota's playing at Creighton, so I thought it'd be a great time to bring Ben on. So thanks for being here, Ben.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be on the podcast and talk some old NCC hoops.
Oh man, glory days.
Yes, the good old days.
Yeah, I want to call out that we're not getting paid by Back Channel. Back Channel's a local spot. It's a great brewery. I think, what am I having tonight? It's the Slappy Beer Girl is what I'm having. Very good New England IPA. So Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, I've got the seltzer.
Okay,
so
seltzer.
with the margarita seltzer tonight.
Right. Perfect. So, like I said, Ben played at North Dakota. Actually, one of the fun stories we have is third grade, so 3 years ago, we were coaching basketball together, never met each other. We meet at a local sports bar in Mound, and it's, hey, I played at North Dakota. Oh, I coached with Rich Glas when he was at Concordia. And that was just hilarious, like small world type stuff, right?
Yeah, the fact that you coached with Rich, he was my coach, and we didn't know each other. That didn't come up for like an hour into the conversation.
Crazy small world. And then there's also other guys from like Climax Fisher. You're from went to Sacred Heart.
Yep.
A bunch of guys we kind of knew. So a small world, but super fun.
For not knowing each other to have that kind of a couple degrees of separation was kind of fun.
Yeah. We'll get more into like the little coaching tree that Glass has and all that, and how it ties into tonight as well. But just want to like talk to you a little bit about, I think there's, fair amount of people who are like North Dakota State, UND, South Dakota State fans, the old NCC and what that was like in the mid 90s, early 90s when you played, and just like, what do you remember about those days playing in the NCC?
Yeah, I mean the NCC. So I grew up in East Grand Forks, and as you said, went to Sacred Heart High School. Had a late start to basketball, but went to all the UND events growing up. The Hislop Sports Center was kind of our favorite place to go. It was, watching the big team in town. It was obviously pre kind of any of a way to watch national games, pre-internet, obviously. So yeah, that was the big stage to go watch UND basketball and see those guys live. A lot of them were local, a lot of Fargo guys, a lot of guys from North Dakota and Minnesota. So it was a great time for basketball in that era. It was 10 teams. We had North Dakota State, South Dakota State, St. Cloud, Mankato was a weekend we played together, Northern Colorado, Omaha was a weekend together, and then Augustana, Morningside. So it was all 2 games at a time. You had 9 weekends at home, 9 weekends away, so 18 total conference games. And I guess Morningside was almost like a little Hoosiers high school style gym. always packed, always loud. South Dakota State, they had the famous cowbell. They'd ring the cowbell when you're losing, which we oftentimes were. Yeah, they were really good. Great rivalry with NDSU, obviously. Just packed house at both locations every year for those games. And then road trips were a blast. St. Cloud State always had good crowds. Played against guys like Todd Bauman, who played hoops, and man, he could fly.
He played hoops and football?
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback, I believe. Yeah. And then he was a stud in the basketball court.
Well, his kid now playing football at South Dakota.
Yeah. And Todd supposedly jumped over a car in a dunk contest at like the Gus Macker or something. Yeah.
Todd Bauman, Russell Tyler, Ruth Tent.
Yeah. And then Vikings.
Yeah, crazy.
So no, real good memories of just the, kind of local hoops. Everyone knew each other. The fans knew a lot of times who we were playing and who the guys were. It wasn't a lot of people coming in from long distances, although we had guys on my team, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Iowa. We had a great time. It was good fun.
So of all those venues, it's funny because like the Bison Sports Arena's not there. The High Slop's not there. But like, what are those venues? Are there any still around that you know of? Like, are they still playing in some of those gyms?
Oh gosh,
I can't imagine.
Is Hollenbeck Hall still at St. Cloud?
I think
they might still play there.
That might still be.
Yeah, I'd honestly might be the last one. They just tore the Hislop down, which was our gym.
Yeah.
And it was
because they've been playing at the Betty, right?
Yeah, Betty came around about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know that there is. I think Morningside is NAIA now, or D3.
Okay.
But I think they play in that gym.
Yeah. What's funny, like, you got 9 home games, 9 road games. You do these like road trip things, and now conferences are so spread out.
Oh my gosh,
and like, I mean, not just like Big Ten, but like even the Summit League. You got some distance to travel with Oral Roberts in there. I remember when that first kind of started when NDSU and SDSU went D1. They were playing Oakland from Michigan. These are like, you said what? You took one flight back then, and now
they're Colorado. That was it.
Yeah, the rest were bus trips.
Yeah.
Cold bus trips coming out of Great
we played my first game ever. We played Wisconsin Platteville in the Wisconsin Badgers arena, and we had hit a blizzard on the way home. It took us 19 hours to get home. So the days of flying were not around. Yeah. We're not there yet.
You haven't experienced basketball in Minnesota unless you've done that.
Without a cell phone.
Yes, exactly.
Or an iPad.
Buses in the ditch. I don't know what's going on.
You got your textbooks and your guy sitting next to you.
So any particular atmosphere or games that stand out from? I know I'd be remiss if I didn't say that you guys won the NCC Championship your freshman year, but that might be the best memory. But any atmospheres or games or opponents?
Yeah, so my freshman year I didn't play a lot, but it was an awesome team to be a part of. We were 3-6 at the break, so through our first 9 games, we rattled off 9 in a row to win the conference, which is insane. The third game before the last, we had to beat the Bison. And it was insane. It came down to the wire. We won, so we kept our dream alive, right? So there's a lot of, I think it was down to us, South Dakota, and North Dakota State. We needed this perfect combination of us winning and people losing, and it happened just perfectly. But that Bison game came down to the wire. We won it right at the end. Then we won in overtime in South Dakota, the Dome, to find out that we won it. And then I think we were 19 and 11. On the bus ride home, the season was over. We're waiting for the standings to come out. We had beaten Morningside head-to-head twice. They had 21 wins, I think, or 20 wins. So they were ahead of us in the seedings. So we got home from this road trip to win the conference. We had to, 2 days later, go back to Morningside, play the first round of the playoffs, and we lost. So
beat them twice in the regular season?
Yeah, beat them twice. And it was just... It was a bummer because I think they went to the Elite Eight that year. We thought that was our year. But no, just a lot of memories of packed gyms and good rivalries. We got to know these guys. Everyone stayed 4 years.
Right.
We knew the guys that were at all the different schools and kind of got to know them. You see them a couple times a year. We didn't, we weren't friends on Facebook, but but yeah, we got to know who they were, and it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Any players you remember from that era? Anybody I don't know, if they went on play professionally or like even in the, what was it? It wasn't the G League back then. But
Yeah, right.
Fargo had a team. The
Fargo
Bees. The Fargo Bees.
Yeah. Well, notably, one of my teammates and good friends, Todd Johnson, played for the Bees.
Oh, okay.
Our other teammate's dad was like part owner, quotes, whatever that meant. Owning the Bees, we're not sure if it was lucrative, but Chris Gardner's dad was part owner, so Todd played for the Bees. It was awesome. We'd go down there, watch. They played. They had Townsend Orr.
Townsend Orr from the Gophers.
Yeah. They had one of the guys that was featured in the Hoop Dreams was on the team, so he's kind of a celebrity, right?
Yeah.
He's a movie star.
Wow.
But man, Brian Sand was unstoppable. He's a NDSU center.
Okay.
He's a Minneapolis police officer now.
Okay.
Great dude. I think I just saw he went into his NDSU Hall of Fame. Who else was there? Every team had their studs. We had a lot of good rivalries, really good guards. South Dakota State always had a really good team, really well coached. Same with USD. St. Cloud State had some really good players.
Yeah.
But probably my best memories of the best players were my teammates.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
right? Yeah. Good way to think of it.
I mean, you're a good teammate, so you guys.
Yeah, right. You got to say that.
Did you ever, you probably didn't think of it back then because it wasn't even a thought, but the idea that now they're Division I,
Yeah, no, we never thought that would be.
I mean,
right, when we found out they were maybe going to go D1 in the mid-2000s,
yeah.
I think a lot of us thought it was a little insane.
Yeah.
We're going to go play Kansas. We've tried that. It didn't really work.
Yeah.
I remember the original thought. There was two schools of thought kind of around alumni and friends of mine who are still around the program. It was A, do you jump in there and you're kind of overwhelmed for a long time? Or is it worth doing that? Or is it better to be a top tier D2 program and try to go for a national championship?
Yeah.
Try to win big?
Yep.
Or NDSU had already done it, and they started to kind of see some success in football. They went to the big dance in basketball, and we were like, oh my gosh, maybe that is the way to do it. Maybe it is a sweet to go and win your conference and win the mountain, win the summit, go play a Gonzaga or an Arizona. I think they went with what they felt they had to do, and that obviously looking back, SDSU followed that path, USD, it was kind of the thing you had to do. NDSU was a few years ahead of UND, I think, if you went back and looked at it. But no, I think everyone was happy to do it. It was exciting. UND's made the big dance, I think, once,
Right.
which was great.
Played Arizona.
We had a big get together and talked about it, as alumni. But it's tough to get there every year when you got all these teams recruiting all over the country now, and the coaches have a hard time putting together a team that's going to stick around. But no, there's certainly some challenges. But to answer your question, I think it was a good thing. And it was fun. It was fun to say, hey, this is a D1 program.
Yeah.
You get more money, you get higher level, coaching and nutritionists, and all the things that come with it.
Well, I mean, and UND is kind of unique in that they had a Division I hockey team.
Yeah, that's
so they
true.
had some. I mean, I don't know that it's the same.
Yeah,
but
we had a snapshot of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
you kind of got, and you got the financial piece of it, right? The revenue from the hockey team has to be able to support. Where at NDSU, it's the football team's revenue probably helps support a lot of the other sports for sure.
For sure, and we had to that point, we got to see a national championship level D1 program right in town, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they won it one year I was there, and then a couple years after I was there.
Yeah. I think there was the point guard for UND in their tournament year was a Park Center kid or something from the Twin Cities, right?
Quentin
Hooker?
Yes.
Hooker? Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's still playing pro ball, I think.
Yeah, I pulled that out.
I knew you'd know that. I think he is still playing pro ball.
Yeah, I almost forgot that they had made the dance, but that was in was that the Big Sky?
They were in the Big Sky. I think they were in the Big Sky.
I forgot that they were Big Sky first, and then they moved to the Summit.
Yep, Brian Jones. Coach.
Brian Jones.
Which he came in and took on a tough role. You're trying to recruit basketball players to come to 30 below weather It's freezing. Between classes, your buddies are down south texting you from, the hot weather.
The beach.
Yeah, and you're walking to class, it's 30 below and 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
It's not optimum for grabbing those kids from the south that are, from Texas or California. And,
right.
hey, come up to Grand Forks to play basketball.
Yeah. Actually, that's funny because I was just reading an article or I listened to something about the Strickland kid that's at NDSU.
Yeah.
And his dad or uncle or somebody had told him, like, hey, the best thing that happened to me was getting out of the city and moving out to wherever he played. I don't remember where it was, but it was something like Sioux Falls, Skyforce or something back in the day, because you just now all you focus on is basketball. So there is
that's true.
There is something to that, right?
Well, yeah, to that point, we had a lot of guys that did come from out of state and thought they, didn't know if they'd like it, and they loved it.
Right.
Grand Forks is a great community.
Yeah.
A lot of people supporting the teams. You don't kind of fall by the wayside. Actually, back then, we were the main, university on TV, in the news.
Yeah.
There was a full-on news network there.
Right.
So it was sweet. It was kind of like a good time to be going there.
Yeah, I mean, going off that, talking about recruiting, how do you think the recruiting has changed now that obviously being Division I, but also, ESPN Plus, like tonight's game against Creighton, right?
Yeah.
They're on ESPN.
Yeah.
That visibility has to help recruiting, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say the coaches are probably talking about that. Hey, you're going to play some national teams. You're going to be in big spotlight. Look at how many he had against Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
50 against Alabama.
Yeah, the kid that went to West Virginia.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Eagles
Staff.
Yeah.
And now he's down in big-time D1 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the exposure of those things. You get to probably get some minutes you maybe wouldn't get, at a bigger school.
Right.
And come up and show them your stuff.
There's so many examples of that. Like Grant Nelson at NDSU was one of those. Went to Alabama, Final Four. Zeke Mayo at South Dakota State. Now Oscar Clough was at South Dakota State. He's at Purdue. Just like.
It can be
it's like hey, you're overlooked. Come prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And it's tough, right? Like they leave and you can't really build that consistency, but you get a year of some pretty awesome players.
Yeah. So as a coach recruiting, those are some obstacles because it's like you can't tell everyone they're going to get 20 shots because they all come up there and there's not 20 shots for everybody.
Yeah.
But you get a chance to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You get a chance to, play in a solid conference. You go out and you're on the road. You're missing some school. You're having some fun. You're meeting a lot of new people.
Yeah.
I do hope for the the camaraderie of it. I do hope kids are becoming friends with their teammates and staying in touch.
Yeah.
You'd hate to hear about, I went to 4 schools in 4 different years and I really left without really much of a connection.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You don't want it to be transactional.
Yeah. Right. We have tons of buddies from college that we still stay in touch. We don't talk about every game, but it's a great camaraderie. It's a great fraternity of people, not just teammates, but friends in school. And I don't know if you get that, if you don't stick around that much, but definitely a challenge for today's coaches to keep people around.
You've seen Coach K, and some of these guys are older. They maybe would have retired anyway. Like Izzo didn't retire, but Boeheim and Roy Williams and Coach K, I think all felt like I don't want to do this anymore. And even Bennett at Virginia was kind of like,
it's a 1-year deal.
It's not what I signed up for.
Every year you're searching.
But then there's other guys who kind of love it or whatever. It's more professional, I guess, in some way, which I don't know.
It's definitely more towards a pro sports. Setup for sure.
That's the thing that I think is coming next is contracts of staying here for 2 years or 3 years, or is it just 1 year? Because as a booster NIL, if you can say hey, here's your package, but you got to stay 2 years. That's professional sports.
Yes, right. Now you're getting into contracts.
Yeah, which would be good for the sport too.
I think that has to come.
Yeah. The college game, I was just listening to a different podcast where they were talking about how this might be the best one of the best years ever of college basketball
Oh,
because
for sure.
guys are staying because they're getting paid, and the freshman class is amazing. So you have like this weird dynamic where it's like old, really good teams mixing with unbelievable freshmen, all this talent.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the product great. And I mean, I would agree. Like everything I've watched so far, it's phenomenal. So,
Yeah, it is. It's fun to watch.
So
It's like a junior level pro league.
it is, which it kind of always has been, I think, to some degree. Right? Like there are certain programs, Kentucky would put more into basketball, and they got better players.
Well, and then what a catch-22 if you're a really good college player and you got a chance to make a couple million, and you don't know if you'll make the NBA.
Right.
Do you pick college over the pros?
Right.
I mean, it truly might be the best decision.
No, I think that's a lot of guys. Or like guys like Braden Smith, where he's National Player of the Year, but he's probably not going to be a great pro.
Right.
He's just not big enough. But he's going to make a fair amount these last couple of years.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, it's ever-changing climate, obviously.
It is. Yeah. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's
That's
hard
a
to
good way to
keep
sum it
track
up.
So I kind of want to end on the Rich Glas coaching tree. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but like I worked with Rich for 1 year. He was super fun. You played for him for 4 years. He's got Greg McDermott was on that staff.
Yep.
Ben Jacobson was on that staff.
Yep.
Now the head coach at Northern Iowa, and he's been there for
20
long
years.
time, dude. Yeah. And McDermott's been at Creighton for a long time. He
Almost
was also
the
at
same
Northern
level.
Iowa, though, right? First?
Yep, McDermott brought Jacobson to Northern Iowa.
Okay.
And then Jake took over.
Yeah.
And Mac went to Iowa State, and then
Yeah.
quick stint at Iowa State, and then over to Creighton, where he's been ever since.
Right. And so, like, it's just...
And I don't know, did you know that Coach Glass went and coached for Ben at Northern Iowa?
Yeah, he was an assistant there. Right?
Yeah.
He was, like, in Arizona for a year or two, and I think... Was he in Hawaii, too? I feel like...
He was in Hawaii before UND.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. I hope I'm not, like, ruining anything for Coach Glass. But we had a play called Shaka, which was like the Hawaiian surfing.
Oh, yeah.
He would call that out. He was like, I picked this up in Hawaii. And I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Oh, yeah, his stories are amazing. Going from Bemidji to Hawaii, and then up back to Minnesota.
Right. And actually, his first gig was at University of Minnesota Morse as his head coach in like the late 70s. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one of our other coaches, Jim Severson, he was Rich's other assistant, and he ended up going down and being the head coach at Morris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim. Oh, yeah. Okay, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Jim and Gene were brothers.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
Jim was awesome.
I mean, it's kind of crazy though when you think about that team or that staff with Rich. And then he's got, two of the longest tenured coaches in college basketball. McDermott's been to, Sweet 16.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I mean, that's a pretty impressive.
Should have been in the national championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some great teams. And, I mean, Northern Iowa's had great teams in the past. So
Yeah.
it's
And I don't know if you know, Doug McDermott was born in Grand Forks.
Oh,
When Greg was coaching, and it might be a tell tale, but supposedly he was born and Greg managed the game like a couple minutes late. I don't know if that's true. But
when you live and breathe it, you got
You got to be at the game, at the
It's like
big UND
the
game.
quarterbacks who are like, I had the baby this morning and I'm still going to quarterback.
That's right.
My noon game,
Yeah,
Funny.
no, so Coach Glass does an amazing job of kind of he calls it the family, right? He coached from the late 80s to the mid 2000s. So he had, you have a couple guys new every year. He probably coached a couple hundred guys.
Yeah.
And then again, of course, at Concordia. So we were all in a group email, and keeps us up to date on if someone gets married or has a kid or what he's up to. So it's cool. People can chime in and give each other a hard time or whatever.
I don't think people realize, you run into people all the time who will be like, I'm terrible with names. Think about that as a coach. Like, you've coached hundreds of players.
And their parents over there.
I mean, that's a skill or I don't know, like an OCD thing or whatever it is, but it's amazing.
Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta have that gene.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so UND. We started off UND playing at Creighton tonight.
Yes. Exciting.
It's exciting. I don't think the Fighting Hawks have a huge chance to win this.
Probably not.
Creighton's probably pretty mad after getting absolutely throttled at Gonzaga. But how about the Summit League? UND was actually picked 9th, which I think was kind of low.
I did too.
I know the top of the league with the Tommies, and NDSU will be good. SDSU is usually good. Omaha is the reigning champ. But, like...
You're in a league where you got all these teams that are good every year.
Yeah.
St. Thomas has turned up the heat. I don't know if hopefully they can hang in there tonight with Creighton. It'll be fun to see that. It's actually going to be fun. It's actually Coach McDermott's 1,000th game tonight. We just learned against UND, which is kind of the circle of life. But no, hopefully the Hawks can hang in there. I went and watched them play the Gophers a couple weeks ago. They hung in there in the first half. Just got overpowered. Creighton has so much firepower on offense. You just, just swing it twice and you're already out of position and that guy can score. And the other guys can score. So no, it'll be fun to watch that game tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to record it and watch it tonight. But yeah, we'll be cheering for both sides. I really like the Curtis twins out of St. Louis Park. Oh yeah, that's fun that they went up there.
I mean, they're big, they're athletic, they're skilled. Like, I mean, those two are going to be a problem if they stick around. That's the thing is like maybe those two.
I know. I was excited they both are there. It'll be if they can stay there.
Right. Yeah. And there's I think there's a kid from St. Francis School, St. Francis of Northern Metro area, playing for them. Eli King from Caledonia was all Summit League second team. So there's a lot of
Tonka kid who's averaging double figures this year.
Okay. So I mean, they got. I don't know. It'll be fun to see whether tonight, whatever. But I definitely think we got to get to that the St. Thomas UND game.
Oh, 100%.
Play here.
We'll be at that one for
That'll
sure.
Be super fun. So. All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. Appreciate you coming on, Ben. This was super fun.
Yeah, it was.
Talking hoops. Next time we'll get our St. Thomas buddy on, and we'll try to do maybe you can have some bragging rights. Maybe we'll pull the upset UND at St. Thomas. But
that'd be huge. We'll see.
They're pretty good.
We'll cross our fingers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
All right. All right, again, I just want to say thanks to Ben for joining the program today. A lot of fun, had a lot of fun stories to tell. Growing up, small town, small schools, all the way to, Ben knowing some people at the highest level of college basketball. So it's a great time. Ben's a great guy, so I appreciate you coming on, Ben. And so that's the show today. Later this weekend, we'll probably do another pod, and we'll look a recap at the Wolves this week. Right now, they're looking to close out the Wizards this Wednesday, the 19th. And again, some great college basketball games early in the year. We got Illinois, Alabama going on right now in Chicago. Earlier tonight, Arizona took down UConn. So it's a great time of year. And I'm obviously, if you can't tell, very excited about the basketball season up ahead. And also, hopefully, we'll get some insights from either high school coaches, AAU program directors. I got a few things in the works coming up for the next few episodes as well. So stick around for that. Like on Instagram, follow the YouTube channel, find us on Facebook. However you got to get to the Splash City Basketball Podcast. We're here and always listening for feedback and thoughts. So thanks again. This has been the Splash City Basketball Podcast.
Back in that bag again. Whoa.